Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing this morning? JTW here with another Xtrades FOMO live stream here for Thursday, October 24th. Hope everybody's having a great week so far and looking forward to closing it out strong, not only this week, but the month of November coming up next week. So uh, let's get into it. We're going to go through ES, of course, as we always do. We got a couple of trade plan recaps to get through with Viking Therapeutics, Neo, and Cores. And then we will obviously get to doing some new trade plans live here on the stream with you guys this morning. So I hope you all are ready to get after it. I'll give folks just a couple more seconds to finish kind of joining in on YouTube. I see the numbers ticking up. If you're here, please feel free to say hello, say good morning. Love the interaction, love to engage with you folks. With that being said, let's get into what we're seeing here on ES. Obviously, we had quite the pullback yesterday. We have been watching for quite some time now this range between 58.44 and 59.16. We've kind of we've been saying, not kind of, we've been saying, what's up, good morning, what's up, Unknown Reviews, what's up, Stan, good to see y'all, hope you're doing well. So we've been looking at this kind of range on ES for a little while now. This 58.44.50 we talked about on Tuesday, and 59.16.25, those being kind of a key resistance, key support down there. We finally saw that 58.44 give way, dropped pretty rapidly down to the next key support down there at 5800. You can see where 5800 has been significant in the past. Lots of struggles and really kind of that more recent clean rejection right there. A little bit more of a struggle right there before we broke out above. So not a surprise to see that key resistance flipping to support after some time has been spent with the price action moving above it. So we pretty much dropped right down to that. Also a psychological level there with it being 5800 on futures. So again, dropped pretty much straight down to that 5800 level. And has been bouncing from there ever since. We'll see if that continues. There's definitely a confluence of resistance that I would be and am, since I'm holding a decent number of longer term call positions on some things, concerned about, which is this confluence up here near this 58.82 level and this key selling pressure here on Neptune, 200 SMA right there, right on top of that 58.82. So watch this as a key level to either look for possible rejection, short entries for puts or shorting shares, or taking profits if you bought the dip yesterday. Anywhere in this range between 58.70 that we're currently testing and 58.82, could bring a rejection. So keep an eye on that. But if we are able to fight through it, I won't be surprised to see us make another run at 59.16 to potentially try to break through that. But that remains to be seen. Let's take this one step at a time. Again, this 58.70, 58.82 level on ES, or area, I should say, on ES, definitely going to present some possible challenges as far as continuing up on this recovery bounce off of 5800. So again, area to potentially start putting in some hedges if you're up on your positions, or take some profit if you bought the dip yesterday, or if you're looking for a potential short entry. There could be some good short entries up in this range as well. Again, getting over that 58.82 is going to be key for us to continue higher and potentially retesting that 59.16 resistance that's been a tough nut to crack ever since we dipped back below it. So with that being said, let's get to some trade plan reviews, and then we'll get to some new trade plans. I see Unknown Reviews is already in the mix with DXCM. I'm not super familiar with DXCM. Wait, is mine? What's going on? Why do I not have... Doesn't look like I've got audio on Discord. Hang on a sec. Sorry, folks. My apologies. It doesn't look like for some reason, my audio is picking up on the Discord side. I know it's working over here. Voice and video. That would be why. Right? No, that's the right thing. Why is this not? Mic test. Let's check. Okay, mic's working there. Why does it not look like can you guys hear me in the Discord? I'm sorry, guys. 1 second. Oh, there it goes. All right. Looked like my mic was not picking things up, but I guess it is. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. It looked like my microphone wasn't getting any response or reaction on the Discord side of the stream. So, okay, looks like we're good to go. I'm not sure what was happening there. All right, so going back to what we're looking at here on Viking Therapeutics. Again, sorry, I got a little sidetracked there. We've been flirting with this breakdown below 60.58. That could, again, we're looking for that to potentially bring more downside. It did get this little dip in consolidation below, just below actually, and I think Viking were levels that I kind of drew on the fly. Zoomed out that weekly level, I could just be a little bit off, and that could be on me and just maybe not taking the time to make sure these levels were really dialed in. I think this was the last trade plan we did as we started to run out of time on Tuesday's live stream. But yeah, it looks like a little bit of a dip below there. That looked like a pretty good confirmed break if that level was in the right spot, but I think I might have just had that level off a little bit. So my apologies if this pulled anybody into a trade that is looking like it could get stopped out this morning. We're definitely flirting with a breakout above this stop loss average down level there at 63.67. The one thing I would say, looks like it's struggling a little bit with this 333 SMA here on the 15-minute. So I would say keep that on watch if you did take puts down here, because, oh, they also had earnings last night. So that's another thing to kind of be aware of. Yeah, just be mindful of this. Again, as long as this 333 SMA is holding, if you wound up going short down here, I think that there's still a potential rejection opportunity that pulls this back in your favor. But again, looking at how well that support held right there, I'm going to go ahead and mark this actually, just so I know to come back to it. What can I do to make that stick out? I think I just had that weekly level off just a hair, because when you're looking at it on the weekly chart, you're so far zoomed out. Yeah, we were picking up those bounces there, but I see those rejections were a little bit lower. So probably needed to thread that needle a little tighter, closer to like 60.23. So anyway, my apologies if this one, if Vikings got you into a tough spot, but again, they did have earnings last night, so swinging through that would certainly be a risky proposition, and it looks like that's a big part of what has gotten the price action moving back toward the bullish side. What's up, Chris? Good morning, brother. How are you? Hope you're doing well, my friend. So we were just going over Viking Therapeutics. I'm kind of giving myself a hard time about this weekly level just being, I think, slightly off to where it might have pulled some people into a trade that looks like it's got potential to get stopped out now that it's kind of found its legs after reporting earnings last night after hours. So keep an eye on it. Like I said, as long as it's sticking or stuck below. Yeah, I thought that looked a little bit different, but good morning nonetheless, Chris. Hope you're doing well. What was I saying about Viking? So after that earnings report, it does look like it's threatening to break back over 63.67, but again, 333 SMA right there overhead. Keep an eye on that for potential rejection. It's trying to fight through it this morning. But anyway, that's Viking Therapeutics. I think we spent enough time on that. Neo has kind of been nothing to see here so far. However, we have talked about buying the dip off of 504 or as long as 504 is holding, and keeping a stop loss down here at 488. We're pretty close to getting an even better test of that, or a little bit of a closer entry than we had on Tuesday. So, you know, Neo could be a good one to start buying up some shares on, in my opinion. Definitely, they're doing well over there in China with their EV sales. So keep an eye on Neo. But again, so far, nothing to see here. You can check back to the previous, the recording of the live stream from Tuesday if you want the full plan figured out for you or talked through for you. But one thing that we had that was a little bit nuanced was as long as 504 is holding, by the dip, unless it breaks below 488, at which point exit the trade. And you'd be looking for a potential target up there at 549. That looks like the most immediate opportunity, at least with regards to Neo. And then last but not least, cores. This one has given us multiple opportunities for entry. We did this plan Tuesday morning, dropped down, held that key support there at 12.59 for us, broke over our entry there at 13.07. I know it might be a little bit hard to see. In fact, I'll turn the indicators off for a second. Broke above that 13.07 after that bounce, pushed all the way up to PT1 plus. What happened the following day? Well, pre-market we came down, tested that, bounced again, and then bounced again here midday yesterday, pushed back up to PT1 off of it, and now continuing to try to flip PT1 to support and trying to push hopefully for 1409, which is I think the current all-time high, extended hours all-time high on cores. Over that, we start looking for fib extensions and a potential pretty decent move up to 1481 for cores. All right, so let's go. We've got DXCM, which actually I don't think I know what that is off the top of my head. So congrats, Unknown Reviews. You got a stumper. Dexcom, Health Technology. Let me take a quick look at things. ERs today, pretty okay volume. It's in the millions, a few millions. Glucose monitoring. Okay. So let's see what we've got. Again, earnings coming up after hours today. Unknown, I'm curious. Do you have kind of a bias, or are you leaning one direction or the other going into this earnings report? Let's see. Yeah, there's definitely a weekly level sitting right about here. I'll make sure to double check that on smaller time frames once we get into those, because clearly we got a little less than accurate, I would say, on that one weekly level for the Viking Therapeutics plan, which I just don't like. I don't like missing those little things. Leaning bullish because they've been beaten down. Yeah, looks like it's trying to hold some key support down here somewhere in this neck of the woods. Let's see what that level actually is. See lots of support tests. The one thing I'm not seeing on this is any real clear resistance yet, but we'll keep it on watch. There's definitely something happening around that 62.43 level for sure. And we might need to pay attention to, yeah, probably this level right here from a weekly standpoint. Oh man, yeah. You talk about that candle right there. Scoo-wee. That was, I'm sure that made the money printer go burr. Burr. Let's see. Yeah, right here. I think we got another weekly level. Same thing here. And let's see what we've got overhead. Then we'll start tightening up our time frames and trying to accelerate this process. Yeah, there's definitely a level here. And then the other thing that would be interesting to see, and we'll check this, or we'll confirm this, I should say, on smaller time frames. I think there's a weekly level up here that there could be a pretty big fair value gap fill, depending on how this all plays out. But I think that looks pretty good. Let's take a look at this on the daily. Yeah, that's your earnings gap down. Let me see if it... Yeah, I think we're okay with the 24-hour chart, actually. All right. So, let's check this 62.43, see if this gets cleared up. I'm leaning toward it's probably a daily level. I think it is. So we're good to go there. All right. something right about here on the daily. It's an interesting bunch of support right there. Not going to call it a daily level yet, but let's see. Yeah, I'd like to see more resistance at that level, but there's some. So I think that's okay. All right, I think we're good to go there. Let's fast forward this. Let's go to the hourly chart. Let's get these indicators turned on. Let's go. All right, so where are we looking to make a move on Dexcom? I think we got something right around this 74.16 level. Let's see some of this older price action. Come on down. Here we go. So where is this level actually at? Could be a little bit lower. Right about here, 74.02. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, we'd have to clear above that. Some of those rejections are a little bit concerning, but we were in bearish mode back then, whereas this is going to be on a recovery move. So I think, yeah, I think what we can do is take a shot at this over 74.02. I think we're looking for something up in the 77.41 range for our first price target. Let's take a quick look at that. This might actually give us a nice little bit of insight. 77.68 possibly. Let's see. Let's keep an eye on this. All right. Yeah, let's nudge this down just a little bit. I think it gets us in the right neck of the woods for a first price target, 77.50. Second target, let's see what happens over 77.50. We've obviously got some blanks to fill in here. Lots of support there. I think it actually could take a shot at 79.83 over that. Third target, this daily level up here at 83.03. Potential, again, fair value gap fill opportunity takes it where? Gosh. Yeah, over that 83.03. I mean, this could try to recover quickly. How bad was that earnings report? It's not terrible. Must have had some bad guidance or something. All right. I mean, it's not great, the earnings, but just at a glance, but not god awful either. Certainly seems like a bit of an overreaction to the downside. So, to unknown reviews point, I think it's pretty beaten down. Could be looking for a bounce. But don't forget, earnings after hours today. Risky, risky, risky. Stop loss average down right here. All right, let's go for the downside plan. We'll actually split the difference here. Use this weekly level as an entry. Like I said, we will dial these in. I'm not going to make that same mistake twice. It could be slightly lower there at 70.04. Pretty clearly gives us a first price target there at 67.08. Yeah, don't be shy, folks. Give me some ticker requests. Let's go. And Chris, you were the goat of trade plan picks. What do you got your eyes on? All right, so here are your yeah, thanks, Chris. I for a minute there, like at the beginning of the stream, I think it was actually working, but I wasn't seeing the little, the little green box or line that highlights around your profile when you're talking. It looked like on the Discord side, my mic wasn't picking up for a second, for a little bit there. So I'm not sure I'm not sure what was going on there. Okay, yeah, let's take a look at you. I like that. All right, so here are the DXCM trade plans. Okay, yeah, we can take a look at both of those. Boom. Also in the elite chat. So, what do we, let me put this. All right, so what are we looking for here on DXCM? We're looking for a break over 74.02. That should give us price targets at 77.50, 79.83, and 83.03 with a stop loss average down there at 72.05. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 70.04 with targets at 67.08, 64.86, and 62.43 with a shared stop loss average down with that upside trade plan there at 72.05. You're very welcome, Unknown Reviews. Thank you for always showing up early, being here on time, and always having some good ticker requests. I appreciate you, brother. All right, so let's take a look at you. Unity Software. Trying to hold around 20. Yeah, this one's pretty beaten up. Let's clean up this chart real quick. It'll take no time at all. Boom, boom. There we go. All right. Let me get some perspective on this. Indicators off just for a moment. Price action only. Big breakout above 23. Yeah, it's not a lot built up here on this weekly chart. I'm guessing these were probably, these pink lines were some downside fib extensions. Although I don't see a fib extension drawing on my chart, but that's okay. All right, so let's see. I think there is a level right about, yeah, right about there. This wound up being interesting resistance, but not seeing much else. This is actually a sneaky little level right here. This is the all-time low, so we want to pay attention to that. All right, let's check this out on the daily chart because not a whole lot to see there on the weekly. Definitely have a level right here. It hasn't spent much time down in this range, so limited price data, but that's okay. We'll make it work. daily level. That's probably going to be our put entry. Calling it now. Like that daily level there. Interesting rejections just above this 2290 level, which I don't even know how long ago I drew this, or so I'm going to remove that for now because I think it doesn't look that accurate. Been a while since I've looked at you, I think. Definitely an interesting level there. Last but not least on this daily chart, also an interesting looking possible trend line there, which I think further confirms this being a good downside entry. All right, let's accelerate this planning process. I think got a pretty good sense of what we're looking at so far. Let's hide this. Let's see this little move right here. It's interesting support that it caught last time. Just below here. Is this an actual level? Kind of, sort of. Not the strongest level in the world, but let's take a look at these two. It's either going to be all right. I still think that that gives us a good move, though. So it's going to be a tight PT1 and stop loss on this. That said, below PT1, because I think we do want to be in below 1985. But below that 1985 level, I'm sorry, below 1891, we get a bigger move down to this 1731. So that's where the opportunity really starts to open up. I think you can make a case for waiting to break below 1891 instead of going a little bit earlier. The only reason I'm thinking go a little bit earlier is because that would also break this uptrend that is pretty below 1985. We would have lost that uptrend. So I think that that could actually trigger the downside move that we would want to play. So I'd want to be in there even if I'm taking a little bit off kind of early on into the trade. That PT2 will kind of make up for the tight first price target. And then this weekly level, I do think, again, now that I'm zoomed in and can see it a little bit better, is slightly off. It's right about, come on, move line. Right about there. All right, yeah, that looks good for downside. Upside, let's see. Lots of confluence of resistance right there around that 2150 level. Do I have this 2191 level off? Okay. Let's see. Man, I really want to be above that. Sorry, I'm kind of thinking through several things all at once. I think what I'm looking at. Yeah, let's wait for that to get cleared. Sorry, I was debating on a potential earlier entry. That looks like more of a Neptune rejection than anything I'm seeing on a resistance standpoint. I think we do have a first target up here at 2284 and a second target. Let's see if we can get some better confirmation on this. you know what? I think that's a little bit higher, actually, now that I've had. And then I think we can take a shot, potentially, yeah, at this 24.12. And over that, I think it really opens up 25.77. So the last thing we need to nail down here, 21.23 looks kind of interesting as a potential stop loss. So far, I tend to agree. Yeah, I do agree. All right, cool. So these are our Unity software trade plans. All right, let's get over to, whoops, lost track of the live stream there. Position, here we go. All right. So, what are we looking for here on Unity software? Let me zoom this in as much as I can. All right. Let's go. There's that. And here as well. All right, so what are we looking for here on Unity software? We're looking for a break below 1985 to go short. That should give us a first price target at 1891, and then a bigger move to the downside below that, down to 1731, and then down to 1627. Key support down there at 1627 PT3. Could also be a pretty decent buy the dip opportunity if we make it that low. So keep that in mind. Stop loss average down for this downside trade plan would be sitting there at 2077. To the upside, we're looking for a break above 2191. That should give us a first price target at 2301, second target at 2412, and third price target up there at 2577 with a stop loss average down at 2123. Those are your Unity live stream plans. Go get them. All right, any other ticker requests, folks? We've done DXCM, we've done Unity. I know Chris asked about Boeing, but I'm going to throw it out one more time, see if we can get one more person to participate this morning. I know folks like to watch, which is fine, but talking and engaging is also good. It's got to be some ticker that somebody wants to take a look at. Otherwise, I am going for Boeing. Lunar, okay, there we go. We've actually got a recent plan on that. Oh, another request for Boeing. Okay, let's see if we can't do both, shall we? All right, Lunar has been playing our levels beautifully. Chris asked for this one not too long ago. Our previous trade plan had us going long over 774 back here. We finally did break above that. The other thing that we were talking about, though, was buy the dip off of 721 with a line in the sand. Stop loss there at 674. That held beautifully. We did buy that dip. In fact, I sold puts. I think Chris loaded shares. Since then, we've broken back above, back tested, really nice confluence there. Neptune, key buying level there, or key support now that we are above it. Our call entry at 774. So that's all looking solid. PT2's gotten very close, 876, a couple cents off. Again, maybe my level's slightly off. I'll say 2 cents is still pretty bang on. All right, let's see, though, where it gets interesting to potentially go for a new trade plan, new setup on Lunar. It's 836 levels, a little bit interesting. Could even be slightly lower. Yeah. All right. So if you're not already in, take a shot. Whoops. This is not going to be a factor in this new plan. Stop loss probably is sitting right about here. First target, PT2. Second target, I'm going to stick with our PT3 from the previous trade plan. Third target, sorry, I'm just getting a bigger picture perspective here. 993, but this candle came just short of that. 985. So let's take a look at it again here. Is that our third price target is the question. I want to see a deeper dive on that, this move right here. It's more like 9, I think the actual level's 988. We just rejected slightly early on that last push, but I think those are 3 good price targets with that entry where we've got it. 774, that was our previous call entry. We held that before. I think that looks really good right now as a put entry, to be honest. So we'll use it for that. First target below that put entry. Sorry, just thinking my way through this a little bit. Maybe we do take a shot at 721. Yep, let's go for it. 721 first price target. Second target. Clearly, our previous put entry level there at 674, and then below that we'll use our PT1 from the last plan. So we were able to rock this one pretty quick, and we'll still have time for Boeing. How about that? How about them apples? Here's what the updated lunar plans look like. Copy link. Nice, brother. I love it. Yeah, I'm working on some new trade structures, like multi-leg options strategies. I'm testing one right now on that Tesla long, and it'll be very interesting to see how it plays out after their earnings report this morning. We were already short the $9 puts, but I also bought $5 leaps calls and sold $10.50 calls for the 15th. So we'll see how this plays out, but I'm kind of thinking about maybe starting to share and see if people want to follow along with some of these kind of oh, speaking of TSLL, share your update puts. Yeah, I mean, I expect that, Jace, that those puts are going to open at like 70 to 80% premium collected, and we'll go ahead and close them. So I'm expecting to, take those off this morning. We got IV Crush and a big move that worked in our favor. That should all drop those premiums significantly, and as much as those premiums drop, that's what we're getting paid, right? So here are the lunar trade plans. Yeah, sorry, I'm talking about like multiple things at once there, Chris. My bad. But what I'm talking about is doing kind of like more of a what would probably be considered a poor man's covered call, um, which is like you buy a deep in the money, long dated call contract as your kind of synthetic share position, and then you sell shorter term out of the money call contracts against it. That's kind of the general gist of it. All right, so and then last but not least, the lead options chat. Let's post this here, and then talk through it, and then we'll get to a quick Boeing plan, and we will be good to go. All right, so what are we looking for here on Lunar? We're looking for a break above 834. That should give us targets at 876, 922, and 988 with a stop loss average down at 801. To the downside, no interruptions at all, Jace. You chime in whenever you want to. That's why we're here. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 774. That should give us targets at 721, 674, and 614 with a shared stop loss average down with that upside trade plan at 801. Those are your lunar plans. And while we're talking about things that are up in space, in the air, that fly around, let's talk about Boeing. Ooh, big gap down. Oh, well, how about this? We are right in the heart of a existing set of trade plans here. So let's take a look and see if there's anything that changes my mind. Didn't quite make that move all the way down. So we're going to make some adjustments to this. I just want to make sure I'm not arbitrarily picking this 145.93 level. But I do see a really nice confluence with Neptune and it flipping as a key level. Or are we splitting the difference? Do I have this just a little bit? Yeah, it could be right about here. Actually, let's take a look at that. Yeah, I like that. So let's stick with our put entry where we've got it. We'll adjust that first price target to 146.08. There's a gap to fill overhead here. If we get into that, I would not want to be holding downside positions. There's also, as usual, that gap. These gaps form at existing support and resistance levels or establish new ones. I like that as a stop loss average down right there. And then just 1, 2, 3 to the downside. We've already got the rest of the levels mapped out there, I think. To the upside, I kind of like the idea of an entry over this 157 level. My major concern with taking this entry, what's up, Cronus? Good morning to you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Is this small little bit of the gap fill that's left. So this is full disclosure. That last little bit of gap fill right above there at 157.81. Would get us over. All right, we're going to go for it. Again, start small. Yeah, I agree, Chris. Excuse me. What I'm kind of looking at is an entry above to take us to our previous call entry as a first price target. So kind of using those same two levels, but going more aggressive on the entry, essentially. Again, I'm going to throw it out there. Make sure that you guys pay attention to this 157.74. there's a decent chance of a rejection there on that gap fill. Is that level slightly off there on the daily? Yeah, that does look a little bit better actually. I think that's also a good second price target, and then third price target we've already got in the mix here at 168.39. So let me just, so this doesn't get confusing at all, flip these back to looking like regular old levels, and let's do this Boeing trade plan. Yep, and I'm going to try the webhooks again. I think we've gotten the permissions thing adjusted to where practical jokers can't take advantage of those webhooks. We'll see. Time will tell. But this is what our Boeing trade plans look like. We got 4 trade plans in this morning. I think we crushed it. All right, BA live stream plans. And last but not least, let's get this in the Elite Options chat. All right, so what are we looking for on Boeing? We're looking for a break above 157 to potentially go, or not potentially, to go long. Just don't forget about that last little bit of gap fill just overhead there. Keep your heads on a swivel. Maybe start with 1 or 2 contracts, and then once we confirm above that, add the remainder of your position, get up to your full position size after that. Over 157, though, we're looking for targets at 160.69. 163.53 and 168.39. Bigger move above price target 2, with the stop loss average down at 153.92. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 150.08. That should give us targets at 146.08, 141.46, and 137.17, with a stop loss average down shared with the upside trade plan there at 153.92. Those are your Boeing plans. Go out there, crush them. All right, so with that being said, we're about 10 minutes out from market open. I need to go get the SPY plan put together and get that posted in the options watch list, where it goes every morning right before or right around market open. Make sure to check back for that in the Xtrades Discord. I want to thank you all so much for joining me this week. It's been wonderful being back after a nice little vacation last weekend. So with that, as we always say here on the FOMO live stream, plan your trades and trade your plans. Keep your wins big, keep your losses small. Come back next Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. We will be back in business then. And until then, you all have a great day. Take care. I will see you all in the chats. Talk to you soon.